Miles away from Fayetteville, the Arkansas Razorbacks are still calling the Hogs here in Tuscaloosa. It's Arkansas and Alabama next on the SEC Network. Welcome to Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. Tonight, 10th-ranked Alabama hosts 8th-ranked Arkansas here at Coleman Coliseum. This is a top 10 matchup. Arkansas number 8, Alabama number 10, vying for positioning as we are midway through the SEC schedule. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover, joined alongside All-American Lauren Beer-Stanton. Glad to welcome you to this broadcast. And Alabama and Arkansas meeting for what should be a terrific SEC meet. And Alabama trying to gain some consistency. Alabama has had some injuries the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking tonight to really improve on that consistency. Like you said, they've had some mistakes that I know they're looking to improve on this week. We can also see the return of Winter Childers to at least 2 of the lineups tonight. And
Arkansas ranked as high as the Razorbacks have been in the last 2 years. Why is that?
Absolutely. They're doing great this year. They have a strong freshman class with Sarah Schaefer and Sophia Carter, and they're really great contributors on most events.
Sophia Carter had an outstanding week last week for Arkansas, posting a career best.
Absolutely. You can see here she had a great floor routine. She scored a 9.95 for her beautiful work. I know she's looking to continue that performance again tonight.
Carter was named the SEC Specialist of the Week. Did such great work on the beam.
Absolutely. She scored a program best of a 9.975. That's almost as perfect as you can get.
Great to see for a freshman. Somebody for the last several years that has been doing great for Alabama is Kiana Winston. What a campaign she's having.
Absolutely. She is just a consistent mark for Alabama. You can see there she has a solid beam routine last week. Same for bars. Like you said, she's just a consistent point in their lineup. And you can always look for large scores from her and a solid stick.
Should be a great meet. The first rotation is coming up next as you watch the SEC Network. Between Alabama and Arkansas, but before we do, let's welcome in the third member of our team, Mackenzie McClintock.
Thanks, Roger. You know, the last 3 times these teams have met up, Arkansas has come out on top. I talked with head coach Mark Cook before tonight's matchup, and he is looking for them to be lucky tonight and get the win in Coleman Coliseum. On the Alabama side, Coach Dana Duckworth was disappointed in their performance last week against Missouri, but wants them to improve as a team, keep the attitude light and fun in front of this big crowd in Coleman Coliseum. Roger.
Thank you, Mackenzie. And Coach Duckworth fired up about this meet. A lot to correct, she felt like, from the Missouri matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, they had a few mistakes last week that I know they're looking to improve on. Specifically on vault, their first event, I know they're looking to improve on their landings, as well as getting just bigger and more dynamic vaults throughout the lineup.
And then for Arkansas, Mark Cook in his 16th year as their head coach, we take a look at Alabama's lineup. And first of all, on vaults for the Crimson Tide, it begins with Lexi Graber.
Absolutely. She's a freshman here, and so she's already been a big contributor to the Tide. You can see there a really big Yurchenko full. That starts out at a 9.95. So even if she had stuck that vault, it wouldn't be, because of the start value, it wouldn't be quite good enough to get a 10. You see Dana there is happy with that performance. I'm sure she will continue to look for those sticks.
Now Arkansas getting ready to go on the bars, led off by Jessica Yemzon.
Yes, Jessica here is a really solid contributor for the Arkansas Razorbacks. She actually leads off on 3 of the 4 events, including the bars. That's a nice handstand there to start off the routine. A big single bar release, we call that skill a Tkachev. Every bar routine is required to have a transition from high to low, and you just saw that there from her. She does a bail for that requirement. Big, full twisting double out. Small step on that landing, so she'll be looking to improve that, but that dismount is a very hard dismount to do. A lot of the times, you'll just see gymnasts doing a single double layout without that twist. So the fact that she adds that twist in there is really hard to do.
Mark Cook, head coach of the Razorbacks, his 16th season. He started this program, 2-time SEC co-coach of the year, so brings a great resume, and this is a very talented coaching matchup we have tonight.
Kylie is also another freshman. She will also be performing a Yurchenko full twist. So again, that 995 start value. A big vault from her. You can see she had a lot of power in that vault, so she had to take that pretty large step backwards, but that was a big dynamic vault, so the judges will likely reward that aspect of it.
Dixon, the 5'8" freshman from Spanish Fort, Alabama. Let's take another look.
Yeah, here's that big vault again. She had a slight pike down on that flip, so that's probably a little bit of what contributed to that big hop back there, you can see.
Now for Arkansas, it will be Sydney Laird next up on bar.
Sarah
Schaefer, excuse me.
Sarah has been a great contributor for the Tide this year. She is a redshirt freshman, so she was in Fayetteville last year, but she didn't compete for the team, so she is starting her 4 years of eligibility now. Great handstand to start off the bar routine. You'll see she has great form on bars. She has a beautiful straight leg toe point, which is what you're looking for. You want to minimize those deductions wherever possible, and she's doing a great job of that. Another great handstand there. That connection there will help get her a little bonus into the dismount, which is a double tuck. Small hop back, but overall that was a really beautiful bar routine. She has great form and a really smooth line.
Ari Guerra getting set to go on the vault for Alabama. She's putting together a nice year.
She is, yeah. And this is actually a brand new vault for Ari. She has not competed this vault before. It's a little bit of a different vault than we're used to seeing. She will actually do a round off onto the board, a half twist onto the table, and then another half twist in the flip off of the table. So we'll see if she can pull it off for the first time in competition. All right, she pulled it around. That was not bad. You can see she landed a little bit with her chest kind of low, so that'll obviously be a deduction. I couldn't quite see her feet. We'll have to see here if she does take a hop or not. But for the first time competing that vault, I'd say it was pretty good. She did have a little slight hop there to the side, so the judges will take that into account. But great job for Ari.
That's a performance for Ari Guerra, junior from League City, Texas. Now Arkansas with Sydney Laird next up on the uneven bars.
This is another one of those great freshman contributors for that. You see there a big release move. Gets her some bonus points and some special requirements to help bring that star value to a 10.0. Another beautiful release to a bail. Great handstand there. A little bit short on that handstand. Big, beautiful double layout. That was a great stick for Arkansas. We'll see again here that transition from high to low, that bail. Great handstand there. And then coming up, another beautiful look at that dismount. Great stick for them. Going back to Ari's vault that we just saw, the last vault competitor, she has not competed a vault in 4 years, and so that's a huge step forward for her as a junior.
Very nice to see. Now, happy arm break. Try and keep that going for the Crimson Tide. Guerra had a 9.725.
And Abby normally competes a 1.5 vault, but tonight she's just doing that full twist. You can see there, she has an extra mat in there, likely because she's been training that 1.5. She's just not quite sure where that landing of the full is. It looks like it tripped her up a little bit on the landing there. You can see she kind of got a little stuck in it. Had to take a step to the side there.
What is the main difference with that extra mat?
The extra mat there just provides them a little more cushion. In her case, because she is used to competing the 1.5, it adds a little bit of height to the landing mat, and so likely she just needs that extra distance in order to be able to control the landing a little more.
Back to Arkansas on the bars. Here's Amanda Welk.
Amanda is coming back from a season-ending injury last year, so she is actually in her redshirt senior season. She is a solid competitor for Arkansas. That is a beautiful combination there. Good handstands and good form. You can see Arkansas, really, they have nice, clean lines on bars. There really haven't been too many bent legs or flexed feet. They're doing a great job with that. And her dismount is actually a double front. Oh, no. She saves it. She doesn't put those hands down. So even though there will be a deduction for that landing, it's better than having a 5/10 deduction for the fall. Really great height on that dismount. She just had a little too much rotation going into it. She could have opened up just a little bit earlier in order to control that landing a little bit there. But you see there, she didn't put her hands down, so that's important. In gymnastics, you want to be able to fight for every 10th. So.
Next up for Alabama, Nikki Guerrero. Already a great moment with her and her mom. This is the power of pink. Her mom is a breast cancer survivor. Also, her grandmother and aunt, breast cancer survivors, joined her last year. Today it was her mom, and now she competes in the vault.
Yes, tonight is definitely a special night for Nikki. Oh, that's a big 1.5. That starts at that 10.0. I'm not quite sure if the judges will give that a stick, but it was a big dynamic vault and definitely has a lot of excitement. Nikki always is so expressive after all of her landings. Oh yeah, we call that a step and slide in gymnastics. Great vault there.
Slight little slide.
Yep. But I just love how excited she gets after all of her routines. It really pumps the team up and gets the crowd excited and into the meet. This is Bryce Speed, I believe. She is a senior on this team. Big release move there. Good handstand. Beautiful transition to the low bar there. Another great handstand. These Arkansas girls are doing a great job of hitting their handstands tonight. Big double tuck dismount. I would give that one a stick. I think that'll be a great score for Arkansas. Here's that connection into the double tuck dismount. She was just a little bit short on that toe hand full, but she pulled the dismount around.
Fans from Arkansas like it, making the trip here to Tuscaloosa. The Crimson Tide back in the vault with Maddie Desch last week had a 9.975 against Missouri.
Yeah, I think Maddie is actually trying a new vault tonight. She competed a 1.5 last season, and I think she's trying to bring it back for this meet. We'll see what she does here. Oh, she just does a full tonight, but it was a beautiful fall. Just a small hop back. We'll take another look at it so we can see the dynamics of it, but I think that'll score well for Alabama. Yeah, good height. Her chest was just maybe a smidge low, but she does a decent job of controlling that landing.
Solid performance by Maddie Desch. Now next up, Haley Garner for Arkansas, 5'1" sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes. Haley did have a fall last week. She landed short on her dismount, so we'll see if she can correct that mistake tonight and pull out a great routine for Arkansas. Nice connection there. Another connection. All those connections that the gymnasts do give them bonus points so that they can increase the start value to a 10.0. She was just a smidge short on that handstand. We'll see if she can pull this dismount around. And she does. Just had that step forward, so that'll obviously be a deduction, but I know she's happy for that improvement over last week.
So a solid start to this matchup for Arkansas on the bars and for Alabama in the vault. More from Tuscaloosa coming up in a moment on the SEC Network.
With an exhibition performance on the bars for Arkansas, Sophia Carter.
First rotation, Arkansas with a slight lead over Alabama here in Tuscaloosa. Gymnastics takes over the SEC Network every Friday night, and next week we'll have number 10 Alabama and number 5 Florida at 7 p.m. Eastern, and after that one it is second-ranked LSU and Missouri at the Hearn Center in Columbia. Friday Night Heights is also streaming live on the ESPN app. Very entertaining first rotation. We take a look back, and first of all, for Arkansas, slight lead against Alabama thanks to the great performance on the bars. How about the performance from Sydney Laird?
Absolutely. You can see here she just does a beautiful double layout with a strong stick. As a freshman competing in that lineup, she's doing a great job.
Then for Alabama on the vault, Nikki Guerrero, the top scorer. This is a special night for Guerrero, and what a performance here.
Yeah, you can see here a big 1.5 vault. Almost a stick there, but I just love her excitement after everything she does. She just has so much heart and soul in this Alabama gymnastics team.
She certainly has fired up the crowd tonight, and with more on her special evening, let's welcome in our reporter, Mackenzie McClintock.
Yeah, Roger, tonight is a special night for Alabama gymnastics. They are honoring and bringing awareness to the fight against breast cancer. Now, for senior Nikki Guerrero, this night carries so much emotional weight. Last year, for her introduction, she walked up with her grandmother and aunt, and tonight she got to be joined by her mom. They stood there on the Alabama A, actually dancing as they got introduced tonight to the crowd. It was a great moment. You could tell how much they were celebrating the fact that she is a breast cancer survivor. Roger?
And yes, a very special moment for sure. You know she was fired up for this meet tonight.
Yes, definitely. We'll see Nikki again later, but right now she's just ready to cheer on her team while they compete on the bars.
Well, we'll have more coming up in just a moment. It's Alabama and Arkansas competing in Friday Night Heights. You're watching the SEC Network. Welcome back to Tuscaloosa. The entire town gets in the spirit of Power of Pink as buildings on campus and downtown also getting lit up in pink, just like we have here at Coleman Coliseum. You see the historic Denny Chimes, part of the quad here on the campus of the University of Alabama. So far, it's a slight lead for Arkansas against Alabama, but we did see some good things from the Crimson Tide in their performance in the vaults.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see here they did have some scores that reflected those steps and hops on their landings, but overall, it was a solid rotation for the Tide. You can see, like we talked about, Ari Guerra coming back into that lineup. That's a huge step for the Tide, especially with it being a 10-0 vault. If she can just improve on that landing going forward in the season, that'll be a high point for sure. Also, Maddie Desch, if she can get back to that 1.5 shape form, that'll be another 10-0 start value in that vault. And really, that's the difference maker this year with and last year as well, with the change in the scoring system, specifically for vault. You want to be able to have as many of those 10-0 vaults as you possibly can.
Then Arkansas on the bars had a solid performance. They're getting ready for the vaults, but what did you see from the Razorbacks during the uneven bars?
I saw really a great rotation for Arkansas. They had beautiful form, a beautiful swing. They hit most of their handstands. There was really only a few of those that I missed, and that's reflected in their scores. You see a lot of 9.8s there. Those are good scores for this point in the season. Of course, they want to continue to build, but I think they'll definitely want to use those scores and build on that momentum that they've got from bars going into vault.
And the Razorbacks leading off will have Jessica Yamzon, followed by Sarah Schaefer, and then Sydney McGlone. We did not see her during the bar exercise for Arkansas. And Wellick, Bray Speed, and Caleb Burton, 6 solid performers for Arkansas, ready to go on the vault after they have a slight lead following their performance on the bars.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, Jessica Yamzon is a strong competitor for them. She leads off on 3 events. So that just kind of shows you the amount of trust and the consistency that she has in practice in order to be a lead-off on all 3 of those events. You want to be able to get the rotation started at a strong point, and it just shows that she's earned that spot in that lineup. So here, doing a big vault. Yurchenko full, big step back. This Arkansas team, including her, they have big vaults, so really tonight we're just looking to see them control those landings a little bit more. You see that full with that hop back. There's a possibility the judges might take an extra step there. She did kind of, like I said, that step and salute like we call it in gymnastics, so they might knock her off for an extra step there, but other than that, it's a very big vault, just looking to improve that landing.
No, Ari Guerra first up for Alabama on the bars. Last week against Missouri in 9.825, had a 9.8 the week before against LSU.
Yes, Ari has been the leadoff, I believe, for every meet this season for the Tide. And that's, like I said before, an important position. And the fact that she's built on her score so far also shows that she's improving throughout the season. Starts here with a big Jaeger release move. You can see she just barely caught that with her fingertips, but she did a good job of staying calm. A little bit short on that handstand. This last handstand here is important. Beautiful job by Ari there. We'll see a big dismount coming up here. We'll see if she can get the landing. Nice double layout. She did take a small step, but that was a beautiful bar routine. We'll see how well that scores tonight.
Fans want to see a 10, but that's a great performance from Garrett. Like you mentioned, just getting Alabama started on the right note.
Absolutely. There's that big Jaeger. You can see there just a little bit, catching just on the dowels of her grips there, but she did a great job of holding on. Again, that dismount, she pulled in just a little bit. You can see she's a little close to the bar. That might have been what caused her to take that step there, but a great bar routine for Alabama. A good start.
Now it's Sarah Schaefer for Arkansas next up on the vault.
Sarah also has a big vault. She has a different vault. She only does a half twist. It starts at a 995. She had a lot of power in that vault, you can see, but it caused her to have to take a big step afterwards. So like I said before, we're just looking for these Arkansas girls to control their landings just a little bit more, because if they do that, they have big, powerful vaults. They'll be able to score just a little bit better if they control those landings. Big vault there. You can see a lot of height, a lot of distance. It's a really beautiful vault.
Now the Crimson Tide with Winter Childers on the uneven bars. Good to see her back on the floor today.
Yes, absolutely. She, this year specifically, has been a strong lead-off for the Tide on 3 events, 4 events, depending on the meet. She didn't compete last week due to a small knee injury, but we're glad to see her back here this week. Great handstand there. She does also kind of a unique dismount here. She does a half twist into a double back flip. Just a little bit short on that landing with that chest. And that's probably because of a lack of training a little bit, trying to nurse that injury back to life. But overall, a good bar routine back for Winter. A little bit leg form separation there you can see, and of course that chest down and big step on that landing.
So again, Alabama just glad to see her back in the lineup for tonight after not participating in the Missouri meet last week.
You can see there Dana giving her just some corrections going into the next event.
First time we've seen Sydney McGlone, a freshman from Dublin, Ohio, averaging 9.831 on the vault this year.
Yeah, she also does a really big full. You'll see here, she gets a lot of height and distance on this full. Big up, and she does a decent job of controlling that landing. She did still take that hop back, but like I said, that's a big vault. And that's also a big part of the scoring for vault, especially when those vaults only start out of a 995. You want to be able to have the biggest, most dynamic vault you can while controlling that landing. So she does a great job with the height and distance, but really needs to work on that landing there.
On boards for Alabama, Lexi Graber.
Lexi Graber, she's been told by us from Coach Duckworth she's really a firecracker for this team.
Absolutely. Just a little bit that I know from Lexi about being around the campus. She definitely is. She's spunky, she's fun, and you can tell when she competes too. She always has a kind of a smirk on her face. A big Ginger release there. Had a slight leg separation. A good transition there from high to low. Doing a great job so far. Beautiful last handstand there going into the dismount. She does a full twisting double back dismount, so we'll see if she can get the stick tonight. Not quite, but a beautiful flip there. You see she had good leg form during that, so she'll just be looking to improve that landing. Last week she did have a stick there and scored a 9.9, I believe, so we'll see what her score is this week. Small leg separation there on that bail. But overall, a really great routine for Lexi. There's that big dismount. She has good height, gets above the high bar there. She has good distance as well. Just got to control that landing.
Amanda Wellick next up for Arkansas on the vault.
And I know this team is just so excited to have her back for a 5th year. She had so much success the first 3 years of her career, and you can see that big vault there. She was going for that stick. She just had this slight slide of 1 foot forward. But overall, a really nice vault. We'll see here. She gets a lot of distance on that vault. You can see she's pretty far back on that mat. Great reaction there from her teammates and our coaches. That was a beautiful vault. That should be a great score for Arkansas. You can see there she was getting something from her teammate. I'm not sure what that was. A bunch of teams this year have different things that they like to give out to their athletes for their best performances, but I'm not sure what they have.
Alabama's got the Diva belt. Arkansas with a chain of some sort. May get some more details on that later on.
good start for Kylie. She was a little short on that handstand there on that transition skill, but coming up, she has a huge release move. I think it's the highest release move I've seen on bars in a while. It's called a Tkachev, and I think you could walk underneath it. It's just so big. Beautifully done for her. Another handstand just a smidge short there. Coming into the dismount. Big full twisting double back and a stick. That is a great stick for freshman Kylie. Love how excited she gets with Coach Sheila. That's so exciting for her. I know she was excited for that. I know just as a former gymnast myself, that stuck landing is always just so exciting. You can see there that big release move and that little bit shorter handstand, so the judges will take a small deduction there. But overall, another great routine for Alabama.
Crimson Tide fired up after that performance. Arkansas next up on the vault.
This is Bray Speed. A big vault. Oh, almost a stick. I don't know. We'll have to see it again. But another big vault for them. Their whole lineup really does a great job of having those dynamic vaults, which are so important to producing those big scores. If they can just clean up those lanes. Oh, that was pretty close for a stick. I'm not sure if they'll give it to her or not. But a great vault for Arkansas. Good form in the air, chest high. That was a beautiful vault. I know she's really happy with that.
Next up, Kiana Winston. 2 years ago in 2016, she was the SEC Bars champion.
Yes, she is just a beautiful bar worker. She has the most beautiful form on really all of her events here, especially on bars. You can see a big shapash there. Looking to hit this handstand a little bit short there. Huge packed salto down to the low bar. Good pirouette there. Looking to hit this last handstand before her dismount. Beautiful job. Winding up for that double layout dismount she does. Big double lay and a stick. 2 sticks in a row for Alabama. I know they're excited about that. Kiana just has a beautiful smile whenever she finishes any of her routines. And it's really, I think it's contagious for the rest of her team, just bringing that energy into the Coliseum. Great stick there for Kiana. Good height and distance on the double layout. Chest was maybe a little bit low, but she still stuck that dismount. A great exclamation point on a good routine.
It was almost effortless coming off the bars the way she did with the dismount. So 2 good performances in a row for the Crimson Tide.
Absolutely. I know that was a really strong overall performance for them, and they're definitely happy with how that turned out. I believe that Arkansas does not have a 6th vaulter tonight, so we will be waiting for the last bar competitor, which is Mackenzie Brannon.
Kayla Burton was scheduled to go in the 6th spot, but as you mentioned, sometimes she was a scratch, and sometimes it'll happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes if a team is a little bit short on their depth, maybe if they don't have girls that are quite ready for an event, they'll put them as number 6. And if they have 5 great routines before that, they won't have that 6th person go, just so that they don't risk the chance of an injury when they don't need them.
So now it's Mackenzie Brannon for the Crimson Tide.
Beautiful release move there. That's called a Jaeger. Another great handstand from Mackenzie. She has a really difficult bar routine. She does a lot of extra skills that other athletes might not do. She has a lot of different connections. Good handstand there. Winding up for another double layout dismount. We'll see if she can get the stick. Number 3 for the Crimson Tide. Beautiful bar routine. I just love to see how excited the girls get. It's just so much fun. It brings the crowd to their feet, really gets them invested in the meet. I know she's really excited about how that bar routine went. Beautiful dismount. She had a slight leg separation there. We can see it from the side. We'll see. Can't really see it, so the judges probably won't dot that, but another great stick. Oh, and look at those teammates. They're so excited.
Fantastic performance for the Crimson Tide on the bars. We have more coming up from Coleman Coliseum in a moment. Alabama and Arkansas. Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. Bama over Arkansas. Let's check in with Mackenzie McClintock. She's standing by with Arkansas head coach Mark Cook.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, Coach, you guys got progressively better with each vault score there on your rotation. What did you see from your team that you liked there?
Well, we settled in a little bit more. On bars, we were a little bit too excited. Got to control that adrenaline. And then our first couple vaulters were a little bit shaky, but then we got better as the lineup went on. So just being more comfortable, being more aggressive, but more comfortable.
Yeah, you've got 2 more rotations here. What do you need to see from your team so you know that they're getting into it, they're going to maybe get this win tonight?
Well, they got to settle in. You got 2 more events to go. You got to settle in and make all your landings count on floor, and then again, got to be rock solid on balance beam. Where we can do it, but we got to be rock solid.
Great, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Mackenzie, and also to Coach Mark Cook of the Razorbacks. Monday, SEC Inside gives you an all-access pass to Florida and Alabama basketball for never-before-seen footage and sounds from the season so far. Inside the Gators at 9 p.m. Eastern and the Tide at 9:30 right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Slight lead for Alabama over Arkansas and women's gymnastics. Back with more in a moment on the SEC Network. Lead for Alabama 98.275 to Arkansas's 97.9 as we welcome you back to Coleman Coliseum. And looking at the Arkansas scores, they had the lead after the Razorbacks were on the bar, but we take a look at the vault scores for Arkansas. What stands out to you?
Yeah, like we heard from Coach Mark in the interview, the scores you can see definitely build there. Each score gets progressively better, and we could see even in the vaults, he said they settled in, and you could really see that their landings were a little more controlled. Of course, those last vaults were huge, and they controlled their landings, and you can see that in those scores.
Then for Alabama, a performance on the bars that featured 3 sticks by the final competitors, a really solid close for Alabama.
Yes, absolutely. And again, you can see here, their scores for the most part build. They did have a slight drop in Kylie Dixon. That was most likely just because of those handstands that we said she missed. But those last 2 scores of a 9-9 for Kiana and Mackenzie, big routines for the Tide. And I know they'll be looking to take that momentum into their next performance on balance beam.
So the Crimson Tide, plenty of reasons to share the Diva Belt so far, and with more on some of the pieces of flair that Alabama and Arkansas have for the gymnasts, we welcome in somebody that's got both pieces of flair, Mackenzie McClintock.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, I'm standing here rocking some team swag with this WWE Diva belt for Alabama. They give to when a player or a gymnast gets a great routine out there. They stick that landing, hit a tumbling pass. They get to sport the belt. And then when you go to the Arkansas stick chain, they just introduced it tonight. They're getting to wear this whenever they have a good landing. They don't move those feet. But I'm thinking I got to get myself one of these. I really like the pink on this. Roger, what do you think? You want one too?
I want one as well. I would love to wear that belt or the Razorback chain. Lauren, did you have anything like that when you were competing in Alabama?
I didn't, but I think it's a great idea. I think it gives the athletes something to look forward to for the meets, something that's exciting. Of course, even just having those sticks or those great performances are exciting in their own right, but just that little extra incentive, I'm sure, just a little more motivation for the girls to really go out there and go for it.
A lot of fun for them, and again, the Diva Belt, it's Pink Night, Power of Pink Night here inside Coleman Coliseum, and that's what the sport is all about as well at times. It's got to be fun, and these gymnasts are enjoying what they've seen so far.
Yes, absolutely. And a night like tonight with the Power of Pink, I know, just from my experience competing in these meets for 4 years, it's just a really special night overall. You really... I know the girls say all the time in interviews they're doing it for something bigger than themselves, and that's exactly what tonight is. They're going out there and they're competing for all of these amazing breast cancer survivors that are in the house, the people that walked up onto the A with them tonight, and everybody in the stands. It's just a really special night, and I really think it's great how the whole community gets into it. Like you said, we showed those pictures earlier, the whole campus turns pink, and local stores and businesses will turn their lights pink, and it really just shows that the community surrounding these amazing people and all of the hard work that they've put in, and not only on the gymnastics side, but then to be able to do this for those amazing survivors.
No doubt about it. Now the Crimson Tide first up on the beam with Winter Childers again. Great to see her back this week.
Yes, absolutely. Back in that leadoff spot, she's really comfortable here, and I think that's a great spot for her. She's a really confident beam worker. You can see it in her facial expressions. Big flight series there, handspring layout. Really on beam, you're looking for that nice, good form and not having any of those balance checks or wobbles or, of course, falls. See here, she's doing a little bit of improv in her dance there. Had a slight wobble after a full turn and really just worked that dance to avoid getting a deduction for that wobble. The jumps you just saw were her jump connection. It's required in all beam routines. A big skill there. That is a toss that lands on one foot. That is an E-level skill, so it's one of the hardest skills you can do in gymnastics. And of course, landing on 4 inches on one leg is definitely worthy of that E ranking there. Big dismount, double twist, almost a stick. She had a slight hop there. And you can see she had a slight cross in her legs as well, which will also be a slight deduction. Here is that big E-level skill again. It's called a Liukin. On one leg there, great athleticism from Winter. I could never do that. I don't know how she does it, so I applaud her for that.
It's got to feel good for her to get back. And now the Razorbacks with their first floor routine, Mia Bargiacchi.
Yes, and you'll see something a little bit unique from Arkansas tonight. I believe it's their first two competitors only do 2 tumbling passes. In the normal gymnastics routine at the collegiate level, you normally see 3 of those tumbling passes. But as long as you get your 5/10 bonus that you need to start out from a 10, you can have as few or as many passes in a floor routine as you want. You can see there, I think her music might have started at the wrong time and they had to restart it for her. But that's not a deduction or anything. You can see she just stayed there and waited for it to restart. And that's one of those bonus skills that she does. That's a wolf 1.5 turn. So I believe she gets a 10th bonus for that. First pass there, she had just a slight leg bend on that 1.5. See her teammates in the back there clapping along. It's a fun little dance move there. It doesn't really give her any bonus points, but interesting choreography for the routine.
How was the knee brace affecting her?
Likely not. A lot of gymnasts choose to wear it if they've maybe had a previous injury. So just something to give them a little more support while they're tumbling. They're pretty lightweight, so they don't really weigh too much for the gymnast. Good starting floor routine for Arkansas. You can see, like I said, she just had those 2 passes, but she got all of her bonus in there, so she was able to just do the 2. And we'll see her opening pass again here. That's called a Rudy to a split jump. You can see on that split jump, you're supposed to have your legs straight, and hers were just a little bit bent. Probably she looked a little bit off center on that, so she might have been just trying to keep her balance, but so that'll be a small deduction in that floor routine. But overall, a good start.
Now the Crimson Tide next up on the balance beam with Natty Desch. Had a great performance, 9.825 on the beam 2 weeks ago against LSU.
Yes. Maddie is kind of a little bit of a different beam worker than Winter. She's a little slower, not quite as sassy, more flowy. See there, she does a front aerial to a beat jump. That's a bonus connection there to help her start value. There's her flight series, a handspring layout. You can see she was a little bit off, but she was able to save it and stay on the beam with likely minimal deductions. Oh, we can see a little bit of a it looked like her foot slipped a little bit on that full turn. Full turns are deceivingly hard for whatever reason. One of the easiest skills you do in your beam routine, she see there, she repeated it. She likely wasn't sure whether she got the credit for the skill, so that's why you can repeat any skill if you need to in order to get that credit for it, and it's not a deduction. Big 1.5. Oh, almost a stick there. She had a slight slide with that back foot, but another great routine for Alabama. You can see maybe they have a little bit of jitters, just some small little mistakes here and there. But overall, a solid start. You can see here again that flight series. See, she's just a little bit off in that shoulder, but she pulls it back on. Overall, great routine for Maddie.
Oh, Haley Garner next up for Arkansas. Really known more for the bars, but also does a pretty good job on the floor exercise.
Yes, absolutely. She is another one that only does a 2-pass routine, so we'll see what 2 passes she chooses to do tonight. See her teammates in the back doing the choreography with her. big double pike there. She struggled with that in warm-up, so it was nice to see her pull that around. Here's our lead connection pass. Very nice, good. On those, you want to make sure that you get all the way up in the split position, and she definitely hit 180 degrees in that, so that was nice. Her last pass, connection pass. All floor routines have to have a pass where they do 2 flips in the same class, and so she chose to do hers for that second pass there. Great job there for Haley. A great floor routine for Arkansas. I know the girls are really excited. We'll take another look at her first pass here. Like I said, she struggled a little bit with this in warm-up, so it was nice to see her do a great job with it there. Good controlled landing.
Solid performance from Haley Garner for Arkansas on the floor. Now the Crimson Tide with Abby Armbrecht next up on the beam.
Yeah, Abby is doing a great job this year. This is kind of her breakout year. She competes on 3 of 4 events, and so we'll see what she can put together on beam tonight.
She gained notoriety on the beam years ago. In 2013, she was the Junior Olympic beam champion.
Yes, and we'll be able to see a little bit of that work here tonight. She's a really confident beam worker, very pretty artistry on both beam and floor. Strong connection there, very clean. Showing off her flexibility there with beautiful scale. Here's that full turn. She does a great job with it. Here's her flight series, a handspring layout, very strong there. Good work for Abby. There's her jump connection, very nice. Split jump to a sheet jump. Just finishing up with the dismount here. Big double full dismount there. That's a little different for her. She normally competes a 1.5, so that's the first time competing a double for her. But very nice job overall. Very exciting for her. That's a solid routine for the Crimson Tide. Here's another look at her flight series here. Back handspring layout. She had a slight knee bend in that back handspring. Of course, that's slow motion, so the judges might not be able to see it. There's that double full. Just a slight hop on that dismount, but great routine for Abby.
Duckworth fired up after Abby Armbrecht was on the beam for the Crimson Tide, and now next up for Arkansas, Jessica Yemzon on the floor.
Yeah, Jessica is a really strong competitor for Arkansas. You see her opening pass, double tuck. Very nice. Coming up here with the second pass. Big double pike. Another good controlled landing there. See your teammates like it. You can see their coach in the corner there as well doing the dance with her. Another strong lead pass for her.
One of Arkansas's all-around competitors was part of the NCAA all-around individual participation last year. Something that's very valuable in their lineup.
Definitely. And especially being a lead-off on 3 of the 4 events, that's a strong position to be in. Shows how much trust they have in their performance. There's her double salto pass. Great finish for Jessica. Beautiful job for Jessica. I know her teammates are excited for her. doing a great job on the floor lineup so far. Second pass, double pike. Good landing. She might have been a little bit out of control. You see her heel came up on that front foot, but coaches liked it. Great floor routine. Good rotation so far for Arkansas.
Yeah, Lexi Graber next up on the balance beam. Averaging a 9.85 so far this year.
Yes, Lexi has come out as a really strong competitor on the balance beam. I think you can see a little bit more of that firecracker personality, like Dana says. She has a little bit of a different flight here. A lot of times you see a back handspring layout step out. She does that with her feet together there. Very nice. See a little smile there. Her leap connection. And straddle 3/4 is a very hard skill to do on the balance beam, so it shows her mastery of the event there. And another one of those Liukin E-level skills. She does a great job with it. It's pretty unique to have 2 of those in a beam lineup there. Now you see she dropped down to the beam there. Every gymnast is required to touch their leotard to the beam at least once. It just provides more of that artistry for the routine. Big double full with a stuck dismount. Great job for Lexi. You can see she's excited and the team is excited for her there. Beautiful job overall. Let's see that one-legged landing here again. Beautiful job there. It just blows my mind that they can do it so well.
Should be a really high score for Alabama here.
Really, definitely, especially with that stuck dismount. Had her feet just a little bit apart on that twist, but a great routine for Lexi.
Lots to like about that routine for Lexi Graber. Now the Razorbacks continue their floor routine. Kayla Burton.
Michaela is another strong competitor for Arkansas, specifically on floor and beam. Big opening double pike with a stuck landing. Great opening pass. Another big double tuck. Arkansas is having a great floor rotation. You see how much fun she's having with this routine. A big smile.
The teammates always involved. We've seen that in every Razorback so far.
Another great leap connection. I think that's probably my favorite part of competing floor was the teammate interaction.
Locked into every movement at this point.
Getting the crowd involved there a little bit.
A little tougher on the road, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure back in Fayetteville, all the fans know when to clap.
Getting ready for a big pass here.
She chooses to finish with that double salto pass. She dances out of it to try and avoid some of that deduction for an uncontrolled landing. Beautiful job. Great routine, and you can tell she's got that big smile on her face. Teammates are excited. Here's another look at that first pass. Oops. Yes, she does. big smile there. Really enjoying herself. There's that double salto pass. A little bit out of control on that step to the side. Those teammates, they're loving that routine. Great job for Michaela. This is a really great floor rotation for Arkansas.
Now back on the beam, Kiana Winston last week won the beam against Missouri with a 9.9, and Alabama really needed that with some players falling off the beam earlier.
Absolutely. She is a clutch performer for sure. You can see there she opened up with her leap or jump connection. Front aerial there. She normally connects that to a back handspring for her flight series, but she had a slight wobble, so she'll do a different series there. You can see small wobble there. But if she doesn't connect it, she adds that in.
Saw the scores just a moment ago. Great red at 9.9.
Great score for Alabama. It was a beautiful routine as well. Kiana's a very calm beam worker. You can see she's just very precise in her movements. She has one of the hardest dismounts you can do off the balance beam. She does a double back dismount. Big double back. Oh, just a slight hop back. I know last week we showed she went for that stick and got it. Just a small hop this week, but still, it's a huge dismount and a really great routine overall from Kiana. You see she gets great height here. Slight chest down in that little hop, but very nice.
On the floor for Arkansas,
Sarah Schaefer next up for the Razorbacks. 2 weeks ago, she was the SEC Freshman of the Week.
Yes, she has been a really important competitor for this Arkansas team. I know they're glad to have her back. You can see that toe point that she displayed on bars again here on floor and even in her dance. Big opening double pike. That was a beautiful landing there. Went into her second pass here. Another big double tuck. Really, she gets great height on both those two first passes. Nice leap connection there. Okay. See, she's breathing here in that dance before that last pass. Very nice finish. Good control on that landing. And another great routine for Arkansas. They are really killing this floor rotation, doing a great job.
Solid performance by Sarah Schaefer. Let's check in with Mackenzie as something talking about the height for her, Sarah Schaefer.
Yeah, it's really unique, Roger, that she is 5'9" tall. Usually in the sport of gymnastics, you don't see girls with that amount of length to their legs. But I talked with Coach Mark Cook, and he told me it makes her so powerful. Her lines are able to extend so much further than other girls, but overall, Arkansas has a really tall roster. Her height and her skill is impressive, though. Roger?
Thank you, and yes, we saw the 3 tallest gymnasts in the SEC all here tonight.
Yes, definitely. And you can tell that power of that floor routine. She's really explosive in all of her passes. On beam here we have Nikki Guerrero, a senior. She's a really amazing beam worker.
.875 against Missouri last week, and then had a season high against LSU 2 weeks ago, 9.950.
Yes, you can see there she opened up with we call that a triple series, so she does 3 skills in a row. Very hard to do on the balance beam. Beautiful leap connection. You can see she looks really comfortable on the beam. She's smiling at the judges, taking nice deep breaths, preparing for this dismount here. Big 1.5. Oh, with a stick. Beautiful beam routine for Nikki. You can see how excited she is about that. I love, like I told you before, I love how excited she gets after all of her landings. You can see her mom there chanting for a 10. That was a beautiful routine. We'll see what the judges do with it. Such a great stick there. You see her mom there videotaping for her. Throwing up that 10 sign.
That is so special and so great to see that for Nikki Guerrero. This has all around been a great performance for her.
Mom giving high fives.
Well, Sophia Carter for the Razorbacks. We mentioned she was the SEC Specialist of the Week. Now we get to see her floor routine.
Yes. Last week she scored that big 9.95. We'll see how she can do this week. Opening pass here. Big double tuck. I'm not sure. She might have stepped out of bounds there. We'll have to see later on. But overall, really nice first pass.
Out of bounds line today, pink instead of normal white.
Yes, it is. They really like to get everything pink that they can for this pink meet. Ooh, double pike there. A little bit of an over rotation, so that'll be a slight deduction. Good leap connection there. Breathe in the corner before that last pass. Oh, she pulls it around there on that last pass. You can see her foot did a little bit of a slide there. And that might just be from a little bit of fatigue or a slight mistake in her first tumbling or her first skill there. But we'll take another look at that first pass and see if she did in fact go out of the bounds. Really big double tuck, good height. Take that step. Oh, it's hard to tell. The foot can touch the tape as long as it does not go outside to the blue. That angle didn't really quite show there. Yeah, you can see there, her feet did a little bit of a slide there, so she wasn't able to do the normal layout that she does there. She had to pull it into a tuck position, but she did a great job covering.
So a very entertaining rotation between Arkansas and Alabama. More coming up from Coleman Coliseum. Information across the SEC. Be sure to visit secnetwork.com. There are some of today's stories. Taking a look at the college basketball bubble watch, which teams will get in the NCAA tournament later on. SEC baseball starting in a few weeks, and also the Southeastern Conference celebrating Black History Month. Got a tight meet between two top 10 teams here in Tuscaloosa. It's Alabama and Arkansas. There you see a slight lead for the Crimson Tide over the Arkansas Razorbacks. And right now, let's check in with Mackenzie McClintock with Alabama head coach Dana Duckworth.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, Coach, you guys just had a very strong performance on beam, but how about that 9-9 from freshman Lexi Graber?
She's a firecracker. We keep calling her that, but she loves to compete. And, you know, it's wonderful because you can say, how you feeling? She's like, I'm nervous. I'm like, good, let's get that out of our system and breathe and focus. And she's just so fun to watch. And I'm just excited the kind of tone she set. It was a great beam squad, and I'm pleased we're going to the floor and have a lot of aggressive and just have fun.
Yeah, you have now this last rotation on Power of Pink Me in front of a big crowd. What are you looking for from your girls?
Well, all night we've asked ourselves to be selfless and do it for the people in pink and those that are here and breast cancer awareness and all that great stuff. So we're going to continue that momentum and carry it over the floor and close it out.
Exactly. Thanks.
Roll Tide.
Roger.
All right, thank you, Coach Duckworth. Thanks to Mackenzie as well. Coming up, we'll see Arkansas on the beam and Alabama on the floor. That's next on the SEC Network. Lead over Arkansas in this top 10 matchup tonight in Tuscaloosa. And these are not only two of the better teams in the nation, but also in the SEC as we take a look at the road to the Nationals. Arkansas and Alabama, middle of the pack.
Yeah, absolutely. I know both teams are really looking forward to improving on those scores, maybe tonight and then going on, of course, into the future. Those rankings are important, especially going into postseason and then the SEC championship itself, determining which session teams will compete in.
The 8th-ranked Razorbacks are next up on the beam, and coming up in the 5th spot in this rotation will be Sophia Carter. Last week, she was able to set a program record at a 9.975 against Georgia, and that's what earned her the SEC Specialist of the Week honors. So we are looking forward to that performance by her as 3 freshmen are in this beam lineup for Arkansas.
Yeah, like we said earlier, they have a strong freshman contribution this year. You see here snippets from her routine last week. Beautiful job for her. Just shows how much composure she has, and the rest of the freshmen too in that lineup to be able to put up those big scores for the Razorbacks.
Then Alabama will be on the floor. It'll get started with Ari Guerra, and then later on in this rotation, 2 real crowd pleasers. Kiana Winston, Nikki Guerrero, they always do such a great job firing up Coleman Coliseum.
Absolutely. Floor is definitely the most fun event for the fans because they can get invested in those routines. They can dance with the gymnasts. Of course, you see the girls dancing on the sidelines with their teammates. So floor is definitely a lot of fun and probably one of the most fun to compete as well.
Kiana Winston especially, her floor routine has been perfected over the last several years, and she's really at her best on the floor right now.
Absolutely. Kiana is working back to full form. She normally does a double layout for that first pass. Right now she's just doing a double pike, but I'm sure that will be added as the season goes on. They really want to protect their bodies, make sure they're not pounding them too hard here. But you can see with those scores, she's really a consistent performer. Those average scores are not very high, far off from those high scores, and so that's really something that the Tide benefits from Kiana's performances.
So the Crimson Tide on the floor. The Razorbacks will be on the beam in this final rotation. And you know, it's pressure packed. We saw the score, how close it is. What are the gymnasts thinking as they get ready for this rotation?
Yeah, the gymnasts are definitely trying to stay in their bubble, they call it. They're really trying to just focus in on what they need to do individually in order to set their team up for the most success. You can see Jessica here leading off again. I've talked multiple times about how important that leadoff competitor is, and we'll see how she can pull that out right here. Very nice leap connection.
She has won 3 balance beam events in her career.
Here's her flight series. Back handspring layout, step out. Another one of those triple series. Instead of doing 2 layouts like Nikki Guerrero, she just does those 2 back handsprings, adding to the difficulty of the beam routine. Another nice toss salto, we call those there. Just adding bonus to that start value in order to start at a 10. Dismount. A gainer full twist. Couldn't see her feet there. Looks like she might have taken a small step, but overall a really nice leadoff routine for Arkansas.
Amson gets the Razorbacks started on the beam. The Crimson Tide will start on the floor with Ari Guerra fired up, ready to get Alabama off to a good start.
And I know she's got to be excited after coming back on fall and a great bar routine to lead off the Tide on bars. Looking for a great lead-off floor routine here on floor as well. Let's see. The dramatic face to go with the dramatic music for her. First tumbling pass here. Big double tuck. Very nice. Strong leap connection there. All of the girls tonight are doing a pretty good job of getting their leaps at 180 degrees. That's a requirement for that skill, and it's a deduction if they don't do it. Second pass, big double pike there. See Coach Brian in the background really liked it. Getting ready for that last pass here, taking all the breaths she can. Going for that last pass here. Ooh. Pulls that around. She again, like we saw from one of the Arkansas girls, looks like her feet slid a little bit. And that could be from fatigue or just a mental error. We'll take another look at that last pass again to see exactly what happened here. Good 1.5 there. Yep, just looked like those feet slid a little bit. But she did a great job of pulling that around.
Ari Guerra getting the Crimson Tide started as she talks with Coach Duckworth after her performance on the floor exercise. Sydney Laird next up on the beam for Arkansas.
You can see she's starting off with a hard mount there. Mounts don't really count for anything, so the fact that she's doing a harder mount there just shows that she has just a little bit more difficulty on the event. A front aerial back handspring is her leap connection there. Another connection, just adding to that bonus. Side aerial, split jump. She's a very pretty beam work. She has very nice lines, as we call it. Good expression in this dance. Very pretty. Her dismount, cartwheel to a gainer full, had a slight hop back, but another solid routine for Arkansas. Which all the girls are excited. Here's another look at that mount. You can see there she's holding it up. She's a little bit short, so she had to use her strength to pull that back around. Very good.
On the floor for Alabama,
another look at the dismount. Good full. She could have been a little bit higher, and you can see that she had that slight slide back. But overall, really nice routine.
On the floor for Alabama, Jenny Loeb. First time we've seen her compete tonight.
Yes, Jenny is a senior, and this is actually her first year competing during her time with the Crimson Tide. Ooh, big double tuck there. You can see a slight hop back. Just had a little too much power to control that landing. Dana says she describes Jenny as a hustler. Jenny has worked really hard throughout her career here in order to break into that lineup, and it's really cool to be able to see her do that in her senior season. Going in for her second pass. Double tuck, chest down there. She managed to stay on her feet, which is important. In gymnastics, it's really important to fight for every little tenth that you can get. Like you said, the competition is close, and any little thing that you can do to save yourself from some deductions is important. If she had put her hands down there, that would have been a 5/10 deduction, but because she was able to save it, it'll be less. For that last pass here, 1.5 front tuck. She just looked a little tired on that last pass. Just not quite as dynamic as the other two passes were. Overall, though, it was a solid routine. It was great that she was able to fight for all those little things. It's really important to do that, especially in case you have a mistake later in the lineup where you might be having to count that score. Ideally, probably Alabama would like to drop that score. It won't be that high because of those mistakes, but
on the beam for Arkansas, Amanda Wellick.
Now Wellick on the beam for Arkansas.
another fun mount there. Not quite as hard as the last one, but artistry is important on both floor and beam, so it's nice to see that both teams are showing that tonight. Nice lead connection there. Big side semi skill. We haven't seen any of those tonight. Another unique balance beam skill. Her series here. Slight wobble, but she stayed on. Good fight from Amanda. Nice full turn. Another really pretty beam worker. Arkansas has there's a reason they're ranked #4 in the country. They have really some amazing beam workers in this group. Very pretty front aerial. And a fun, unique dismount. That's called a gainer front full. A lot of times you see a gainer off the side going backwards, but she does one going forwards off the end. Here's that series again. We can see just a little bit off the side. You can see with that front and back foot, but she's able to save it and pull it back on.
Mention Arkansas, 4th in the country in their beam routine, 49.256. through the first 4 meets this season. Now Maddie Desch looking to entertain the crowd on the floor.
Yes. Maddie, I guess the last 2 meets she's done a Arabian double front, so we'll see if she does that tonight. That is an E-level pass. Currently, she is the only one in the Alabama lineup to do one if she does one tonight.
She's coming off a season best performance at a 9.9 on the floor last week against Missouri.
And she does do the double Arabian, and it is beautiful with a stuck landing there. You can see her teammates like it. The coach likes it. Very nice job for Maddie. See the teammates clapping along, some of the crowd. Second pass here. She does a fun second pass. A lot of fun. You can see the crowd loves it. Teammates love it. She doesn't have to do that split jump front tuck, but she does it just for something different and unique in the floor team. Another beautiful lead pass. Getting ready for that last pass here. Big double tuck. That was a fantastic routine from Maddie. You can tell again the coach liked it in the corner, and she should be really excited about that floor routine. That was amazing. Very nice job from Maddie.
A 9.9 last week. Could be that high
again. Big score
again.
from Maddie, yes. Here we see that first pass. Big Arabian double front, stuck landing, very nice. You can see the coach, Brian loves it. His reactions are always the best. And again on that last pass with Dana in the back, beautiful job from Maddie. That'll be a big score for Alabama.
Wider performance for Maddie Desch. Now Sarah Schaefer next up on the beam.
Another strong performance from Sarah. I think she's competing in the all-around tonight, so this will be her last event.
This year she's had the 2 highest all-around scores that any SEC freshman has had this year.
And that just shows how talented she is. I think she is doing a great job for Arkansas this year. You can see there a beautiful series she does. Nice connection there, a cat leap to a side aerial. She does that again just to get some more of those bonus points.
.995 for Maddie Desch during her floor routine. Better than last week. Great to see.
And a stuck dismount from Sarah. Another great beam routine for Arkansas. That will be a big score. I didn't see any balance breaks in that routine. That will be a very nice score for Arkansas. Another look at that flight. Beautiful, toes pointed, legs straight, not a deduction there. And then she also does a unique dismount. She does a tuck 1.5 twist with a great stick. And she gets their stick chain.
Great performance by Schaefer. Back to the floor for Alabama, Abby Armbrecht, junior from Mobile.
And Abby had a great floor routine. Last week she had a 9.95 for this beautiful floor routine and a great opening pass for her. She is
career best.
Yes, she is capable of doing a double layout E-pass. But when we spoke with Coach Duckworth early in the week, she's just working to get a little bit more consistency before she brings it into the competition. Great lead pass. And you can see Abby is a pretty flexible gymnast, and they like to show it off in her dance, which is nice. Just look at her second pass. A 1.5 layout. A little bit out of control on that step there, but that'll be a slight deduction. Okay, ready for that last pass here. Rudy to a jump connection. Beautiful last pass there. And this will be another big score for Alabama. A great job by Abby, excuse me. Beautiful floor routine. We'll take another look at her first pass here. Big opening double pike, so much height on that. Points her toes, beautiful landing. You can see throwing her head back, finishing it. Coach Dana likes it. Finishing that last pass, or last pose there with her.
Now it's Sophia Carter. This has been a routine we've been waiting for.
Absolutely. We'll see if she can pull off the same routine she did last week. It was a beautiful routine. We'll see if she can do it again. Ooh, a slight little bobble there in her dance. I guess I just see some nerves from her tonight. Same on floor.
Does that happen after you have such a great routine the week before? She did set a program record.
It is very possible. Some girls just put a little too much pressure on themselves. I know sometimes I did that in my early career. You have a great meet and you want to be able to perform the same, and you put a little extra pressure on yourself. So that's definitely a possibility. She's doing a great job now, though. A nice connection there. Good for Ariel. She was supposed to connect those. She had a little bit of a wobble in between, so she didn't get the connection for those. But she saved it, and she shouldn't be getting a deduction for it. Very pretty full turn. You can see her kind of settling in a little bit now. You can see her breathing a little bit deeper. A little bit of a smirk on her face. Finishing up here with a dismount. Strong dismount. A side aerial to a back layout full with a stick. A great routine for her. It won't be quite as good as the last week's routine, but overall, really nice routine. And she also gets the stick chain there, sticking that dismount. Very nice. Good job. And we can see the team in the background. Loving it, loving that stick.
Big performance from Carter for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now Kiana Winston on the floor. Abby Armbrag had a score of 9.9. You just saw from Alabama.
Another great routine from her. Kiana opening with a double pike first pass here. Big height on that as well. Nice controlled landing. Beautiful tourgette there. I know I said it on beam how Kiana always smiles, and I love to see it in the floor routine as well. She looks like she's just having so much fun while she does her gymnastics. Second pass here. A front layout connected to a front layout full. Very nicely done. Her leap pass. Kiana has amazing flexibility, you can see in those leaps. Some of the best leaps in the country for sure. Preparing for the last pass. Big double tug, nice landing. Another great routine for Alabama and Kiana Winston. We'll take another look at her first pass here. Like I said, a great big opening double pike. I love the toe point on that from both her and Abby. Look at that last pass, big double tuck. Good landing. A little bit big on the step, but I don't think it'll be a deduction. And the team loves it. Love the finish.
Kiana Winston, such a solid performer week in, week out for Alabama on the floor. Now Burton on the beam for Arkansas.
Yes, Michaela is a strong beam worker for them. Being in that anchor position usually means they have the highest scoring potential, but sometimes it's just because the athlete performs well there. So we'll see how she does tonight.
10 of her last 13 events have resulted in 9.8 or higher.
Very consistent. A good series there. She had a slight balance check with the arms, but it will be a very minimal deduction.
Alabama fans reacting to the 9.950 score for Winston on the floor exercise.
Beautiful job from Michaela so far. Nice connection, a slight bobble there. Just seeing a little bit of nerves from a few of these girls. It is a big meet, and I'm sure that they are feeling a little bit of the pressure. A little bit short on that dismount, how to take that step forward, but the rest of the beam routine was pretty good. Obviously, it isn't as great as Arkansas would have liked for their anchor, but overall, they had a really great lineup there. It won't be their highest score for the beam total, but overall, pretty good. You can see there, had her chest down, just probably didn't get quite a good enough kick on that dismount there.
Now Nikki Guerrero, we've talked about her all night, and already she's had some terrific performances for the time.
Yes, Nikki has a really fun floor routine. You'll see the girls get really involved in it. And she's a great performer on floor as well. She really gets into it. Opening pass here. Big double pike there. Kind of a big step. Not really sure if that was controlled or not, but still a really big pass. She is also capable of doing an E pass, which they will likely add in later in the season. Another nice leap pass. She does an interesting two salto pass. It's a lot harder than your normal ones. She adds a full twist to that last flip there, which a lot of gymnasts don't. Increases the difficulty of her floor routine.
So locked in with her music as well.
Yes, you can see she's having a lot of fun with her facial expressions and just how into her dance she gets. The crowd loves it. Getting ready for that last pass here. It's a great routine for Nikki so far. Closing with a Rooney, a little bit big step there on the landing, so that'll likely to be a deduction. But overall, a really great floor performance. You can hear the crowd in the background. They love it. They're on their feet for Nikki. Beautiful job from Alabama floor routines tonight. Take another look at her last pass here. Let's see. That step, which is just a little too big there, you can see. Almost slid a little bit into it. But overall, great routine.
Some fun performances on the balance beam for Arkansas and for Alabama on the floor. When we come back, we'll have the final totals from Tuscaloosa.
And Dwelling from Alabama, Lexi Graver.
An exciting night here inside Coleman Coliseum. Right now, let's check in with our reporter, Mackenzie McClintock, standing by with Alabama head coach Dana Duckworth.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, Coach, you guys just put an exclamation on your night with those incredible floor performances. What did you see from your girls that helped you get that win?
Well, I think that I saw 4 girls have the first 2 girls back. It was like 4. I went up to them after the 2 mistakes on floor, which was uncharacteristic of Ari, and I said, girls, it's 4 up, 4 count. Trust each other, love each other, let's do this for one another. And so, you know, our words were heart and fight and selflessness, and there was a lot of that going on tonight. So we made some steps. Again, we have so much more, and we're just getting there, and we have to trust the process. We've got some ladies that are going to step in and do some great things. We just have to be patient. And I know it's hard for people to understand that, but I am so proud of this team and where we're headed, and it's going to be electric at the end.
Yeah, you guys had lost to Arkansas 3 times before tonight. You got the win. How does it feel to break that streak maybe and come out on top?
This was about closing out a great performance. That's what we focused on. It wasn't about trying to beat somebody else. It was about what is Alabama gymnastics going to do to basically get ourselves in a routine and get you comfortable. And so we're getting there. New faces. It's going to be, you know, it wasn't about beating someone else tonight. It was about doing our job. And we did a lot of that. We still have some steps.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you so much, and roll tide.
Roger?
Thanks to Coach Duckworth, and thanks as well to Mackenzie McClintock. Alabama had some great performances. We take a look back at some of the highlights from this meet. And on the floor exercise for the Crimson Tide, Maddie Desch was so good last week for the Crimson Tide. They have been even better tonight.
Absolutely. You can see here her opening pass, a big double Arabian with a stuck landing. Her team loved it. she finished off that routine really well as well.
Then on the beam, Sarah Schaefer for Arkansas. What a performance.
Absolutely. She just has a beautiful look to her on her beam. You can see there her stuck dismount, really putting the top on the cake right there.
The individual winners that we saw on the vault, Nikki Guerrero and Bray Speed for Arkansas. Then on the bars, no surprise, Kiana Winston.
Yes, absolutely. Kiana had another great night on bars. You can see there as well with Mackenzie Brannon, both posting 9.9s. They had beautiful bar routines and capped it off with stuck dismounts each.
Nikki Guerrero, 9.925 on the beam, and then Maddie Desch and Kiana Winston, 9.950 on the floor. So very entertaining match between two top 10 programs. Arkansas ranked 8th in the nation, Alabama ranked 10th, and tonight's the Crimson Tide with a great performance and a great victory against the Arkansas Razorbacks. An Alabama winner here inside Coleman Coliseum, Maddie Desch, a big reason why is the Crimson Tide come out on top 197 for Alabama, Arkansas 196.350. So for Lauren Beer-Stanton and Mackenzie McClintock, I'm Roger Hoover saying so long from Tuscaloosa, where again the final score is Alabama 197, Arkansas 196.350. Our next gymnastics broadcast from here in Tuscaloosa on SEC Network Plus is March 2nd as North Carolina faces Alabama. To watch this entire meet on replay as well as other events in our family of ESPN networks, download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network.